Most people arguing about real estate versus stocks have never actually done the full math. They'll tell you one is better, they'll defend it with confidence, they'll show you screenshots, stories, and wins. But if you force them to include time, stress, hidden costs, and risk, their entire argument starts to fall apart. Because the truth is simple. This is not just a money decision, it's a life decision. And today, we're going to break it down properly. No hype, no bias, just reality. Let's walk through a simple scenario. Two people, same starting point, same income, same opportunities. The only difference is the decision they make with their money. We'll call them Daniel and Chris. They both have $50,000 saved. They both earn a steady income. They both want to build wealth. Daniel decides to go into real estate. Chris decides to invest in the stock market. That's it, one decision. But over time, that one decision creates two completely different experiences. Daniel uses his $50,000 as a down payment on a rental property. It's not a luxury home, just a solid, average property in a decent area. Immediately, it feels like a smart move because real estate feels real. You can see it, you can touch it, you can stand in front of it and say, I own this. That feeling matters more than people think. Within a short time, Daniel finds a tenant. Rent starts coming in every month. Money is flowing. And on the surface, it looks like passive income. Meanwhile, Chris does something far less exciting. He takes his $50,000 and puts it into a broad market index fund. No tenants, no property, no physical asset, just numbers on a screen. He sets up a monthly contribution and moves on with his life. There's nothing impressive about it. No one asks him about it. No one is curious. And honestly, it feels like nothing is happening. In the early years, Daniel feels like he's winning. He talks about his property, people respect it, it sounds like progress. Chris logs into his account and sees slow movement. Up a little, down a little, nothing dramatic. And this is where most people get it wrong, because they judge investments based on how they feel in the beginning, not how they perform over time. Let's slow down and look deeper at Daniel's situation. That monthly rent he's receiving, it's not all profit, because real estate comes with layers of costs that are easy to ignore at first. There are property taxes, insurance, maintenance. Things break, things wear out, things need replacing. Some months, everything is fine. Other months, everything happens at once. A repair here, a replacement there. And then there's vacancy, a period where no one is renting the property, but the bills don't stop. Daniel is still responsible for everything. And over time, these costs start adding up. What looked like strong monthly income begins to shrink. Not disappear, but shrink. Now add something even more important: time. Every tenant issue, every repair, every decision, it all requires attention. Even if things are running smoothly, you are still responsible. If something goes wrong, it comes to you. You can hire a property manager, but that comes at a cost. So either you give your time or you give your money, but you always give something, and that changes the real return completely. While all of this is happening, Chris is doing something very different. Nothing. And that's exactly the point, because the stock market rewards a different kind of behavior: patience, consistency, discipline. In the beginning, it feels slow, almost too slow, but something important is happening behind the scenes. Growth starts building on itself. The money he invested begins to grow, and the growth itself begins to grow. That's compounding, and it doesn't feel powerful in the first few years. In fact, it feels boring. But over time, it becomes one of the most powerful forces in finance. Years pass. Daniel continues managing his property. He gains experience, he handles challenges, he learns how to deal with problems. His property increases in value over time. He builds equity. On paper, he's doing well. Chris continues investing, month after month, year after year. No big decisions, no major changes, just consistency. And slowly, his portfolio begins to accelerate. Now let's move forward to around the 10-year mark. This is where things get interesting. Daniel has built real value.
His property has appreciated, his loan has reduced, his ownership has increased. Chris has built a portfolio that has been quietly compounding. And here's the surprising part. They're not that far apart. Despite completely different strategies, their financial positions are closer than most people would expect. This is where many people get confused because they assume one path will completely dominate the other, but that's not always how it works. Now fast forward to 20 years. This is where the real difference becomes clear, not just in money, but in experience. Daniel has built wealth through effort. He has dealt with real-world challenges. He has managed risk directly. He has spent years being responsible for an asset. Chris has built wealth through patience. He has avoided complexity. He has stayed consistent. He has allowed time to do most of the work. Financially, they may still be in a similar range, but the journey looks completely different. And that's the part most people never talk about. Because investing is not just about the outcome, it's about the path you take to get there. Now, let's be clear. This is not about saying one is better than the other. Real estate has advantages. It allows leverage. It can generate income. It can be very powerful when done correctly. Stocks also have advantages. They offer simplicity, liquidity, scalability, but both come with trade-offs. Real estate demands attention. Stocks demand patience. Real estate can create stress. Stocks can test your emotions during market drops. Neither path is perfect, and that's the point. The biggest mistake people make is choosing based on hype. They hear that real estate creates wealth or that stocks are passive income, and they jump in without fully understanding what's required. But the real question is not which one makes more money. The real question is which one fits you. Your personality, your time, your tolerance for risk, your ability to stay consistent. Because an investment only works if you can stick with it. If you choose real estate but hate dealing with problems, you won't last. If you choose stocks but panic during downturns, you won't stay invested. And in both cases, consistency is what actually creates wealth. So before you make any decision, step back and look at the full picture. Not just the returns, but the cost, the time, the energy, the responsibility. Because once you include everything, the answer becomes much clearer. And usually much different than you expected. At the end of the day, both Daniel and Chris built wealth, but they built it in different ways. One traded time and effort for control. One traded control for simplicity. Neither is wrong, but only one will feel right for you. And that's what actually matters. Because real wealth is not just about numbers, it's about having a system you can live with, a system you can sustain, a system that doesn't just grow your money, but also protects your peace. So the next time you hear someone say, real estate is better, or stocks are better, ask a better question. Did you include everything? Because the answer that includes everything is the only answer that truly matters.